Hey, it's kind of crazy. Something dawned on me the other day. There was like a time, I guess, where games were fun, optimistic, hell, even passionate. Not saying that games today aren't and stuff, but today with all the microtransactions and DLC, you can see why it scared a lot of old school gamers away. And like, this isn't like a random nothing, but this is just some thoughts I had playing like older games the other day. And I guess I was still hyped over a game that released over, I don't know, 2 decades ago. Because the crazy thing is, I grew up playing fighting games and was like always optimistic about, I don't know, getting better and wanting to see what the game had more to offer. But nowadays, if curiosity gets the best of you, it might wind up costing you, I don't know, $5.99 plus tax and a battle pass. But, there's a game my mind always resorts back to when I think of those times, simpler times. The fighting game that some, I guess, may consider lost in time. And others, I guess, might say the legend, never died entirely. But today is a look back on a game that my mind always resorts back to when I guess I want comfort, enjoyability, freedom. Today is a look back on the game I most definitely love called Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur is a fighting game that I wound up playing in my early years. I didn't play them in chronological order or nothing, but I played a few here and there. But the few things that first stood out when I played the game was how Tekken-like it felt, but also how crisp and fluid the game was. The reason why I say Tekken-like is because the same company, Bandai Namco, developed both games and it's implied that they took place in the same universe. And even as a kid, I knew the examples were always there, maxi fights like Law, Sung Wao, Zhao Yu, or hell, even how Lizard Man could have been Alex's grandpappy. But I'm just like, why not? Another thing that wound up standing out to me was this was also one of the first weapon-based fighter games that I played. I'm like, why does she have a whip? Why does he have a staff? Hell, why does he have a gun? But all kidding aside, though, 5-year-old me was chalking it all up, though. Of course, there were games that played like Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance back in the day. A game that used stance switches, weapons, even fatalities. But I didn't know how to do combos at the time or frame setups. But I did know how to spot a game that I keep running back to. Soul Calibur is like a mix of historical scenarios and given fantasy or supernatural themes. It has pirates, ninjas, lizards, fire people, whatever the hell Waldo is. This you would have thought this game was Mugen if anything. But variety is only the start. Okay, so Soul Calibur is a traditional fighting game. It has standard modes like arcade mode, versus, training, the standard, but the game has a variety and twists and turns here and there if to keep you going. And it has guard breaks, a defensive move to help you gain the advantage or get you out of crazy situations. You got charge attacks and unblockables, which can render opponents vulnerable or dish a lot of damage if you need to. You got soul charge, which helps you increase damage or turns certain moves unblockable at unlucky situations. But the game mode that stood out to me the most was Mission Battle, where you play various stages with random challenges and what not to do, and you're rewarded as you go. Because that's the thing about Soul Calibur, the more you play, the more you're rewarded, and at a good pace too. And look, you didn't even need a battle pass for that new stage. But nah, all kidding aside, you can tell that this game screamed tryhard. This game came out back in the day when 3D graphics were still in their infancy stage, like you can only play so many blocky and 2D beat 'em ups back in the day, but the crazy thing is, Soul Calibur was always fast paced and gorgeous, because I played, in the OG Xbox era, we had a PS1, Dreamcast, hell, we even had a Sega Genesis. And I had my fair share of fighters, but the game always felt nostalgic. Even when I played the game as a kid, I always felt like, did I play this game before? Because I swear the announcer always had me just hyped for every battle.
Versus Ivy. Final battle. Fight!
The latter games, expanded a lot more on weapon choice, like being able to swap weapons, story features like cutscenes, But the thing that a lot of the games nowadays are known for are character customization and guest characters for sure. Don't get me wrong, Soul Calibur 6 is an amazing game, but when my fan favorite is locked behind a paywall, you can see the shift of what was, because times are changing, which is fine. But you can also undeniably see when the games became local to esport. But back to the topic, why is Yoshimitsu in two different games? Now, the story takes place sometime back in the day where an evil blade named Soul Edge appears and it's got everybody going crazy, to claim his power for glory. However, various fighters all across the globe seek its power out either for good or bad intentions, until it falls in the hands of Cervantes, a pirate who is corrupted by it once he obtains it, and the game is set for the standard arcade mode. However, this original story was developed a few years back in its predecessor game known as Soul Blade, but that game was a whole different beast compared to the sequel. However, Cervantes wasn't the only person you had to worry about. You had Astaroth, a golem, bent on helping align with the antagonist. You had Nightmare, who was Soul Edge's chosen wielder. And before Nightmare came to be, there was a knight named Siegfried Stoffen, who claimed the sword after Cervantes was helped slain by a mystic ninja named Taki and a warrior sent by the gods named Sophidia. Siegfried claimed what was left of the sword and became Nightmare, and wreaked havoc all across most of the globe, basically, and set the game for, the second game. And, that's just the surface level of the story. Most characters set out on their own goals and motives, they have their own things going for them. The game basically intertwines it all together so perfect. The story was so deep, I was making theories even at a young age. Like, I swear the devil gene was always connected to the Soul Edge, but, that's besides the point. But inside Soul Calibur lies Inferno, a source who is power created by bloodshed, hate, and fuel within it. And you had Yoshimitsu, just Yoshimitsu, a ninja from the Manji clan. Yoshimitsu also appears in Tekken, because Yoshimitsu is a title passed down from generation to generation. So it could be implied that Soul Calibur's Yoshimitsu could have been his ancestor. But see, I'm diverging for the point again. But however, this game featured destined soul battles, which were, little cutscenes you had between, you and your rival before you fight the final boss. And I swear it added so much to the game that, we didn't need, or we thought we didn't need. Or it was probably just Dreamcast just flexing. But all in all, it was just overall appreciated. And you can see why the story in itself is just perfection. So far, those are a few things on the surface level of, you can see why my mind just, I guess, goes back to this game when I think of simpler times. Because yeah, growing up sucks and things are getting crazier and more expensive. But gamers older and newer alike bond over things that help them escape the everydays of tomorrow. There may not be a time where we might get low-bellied lizard people again or breakdancing mummies. But fighting games are getting bolder and more intense, as it's going on, learning new moves and memorizing patterns, but behind that is just people having fun, which is the only thing that matters, which is the same experience I have playing this game that also warranted this video. And just like this game's story, you could see how it just comes full circle. But if it wasn't for emulation and HD remasters, this game would be a relic, like it's going to be in the future. But with the abundance of saturated and new games coming out and stuff to do in them, it's hard not to think of those simpler times. But most of the characters in this game scream enthusiasm and wander, and the stages just make you feel okay right where you are. Like, yeah, just play the game and chill out. And we all need that sometimes, to play a game that isn't trying to aggro you or make things feel like work. But a game that keeps time simpler, you know, that's a game that's worth just being timeless. And, you know, I just wanted to make a quick little fun and retrospective video for you guys, you know, because it's been a minute since I posted, I guess, frequently, but more importantly, you know, I guess added commentary. So just a little fun video for you guys, and we do have more content coming up, and maybe a few video updates for announcements. But for now, you know, that's just a little about it. And you guys take care for now. Just remember that the legend will just never die. But fireproof hell, and